Artosis, we're back. Head-to-head here, July Zerg against Liquid HuK.
A hard matchup for HuK.
Yeah, I think
but
so.
Crossfire SE is the map, and that's a map that overall Protosses tend to like against Zerg.
Yeah, it's not a bad map when you're playing off against Zerg. One thing about this map is that Zerg tend to have to expand towards the Protoss. Instead of expanding
true.
away.
The third base is away, and then everything else is towards. And, you know, a lot of thin passageways. Force fields can be very, very effective. Splash damage can be very, very effective. And if Protoss can hold on to the big plateau above their gold base, oh man, is that scary for a Zerg player.
Yeah, no kidding. A little bit of chit-chat going on in the channel. Both guys joking around with each other. These two players know each other pretty well. And the countdown has started, so it's going to be game time here. HuK has to be July Zerg, a player who won 3 Star Leagues in StarCraft 1. Is absolutely off the hook. Or I should say, one of the Golden Mouse. I think he actually won more than that many Star Leagues, right?
Yeah, no, he won MSLs as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, the MSLs too. All right, but there's no more time. Let's do this head-to-head here. Liquid HuK against July Zerg here at the GSL. Over here in the upper right, on a one-on-one map, player who has won so many events. He's known around the world as one of the best Zergs from StarCraft 1 of all time. Oh, look at those eyes. Oh, they didn't do it that time.
Yeah.
So we cut that out. All right, so there he is, July Zerg. Very talented guy, very good under pressure. He's been in the finals of GSLs before. Heating up over here.
I really like that.
Let's face it, February will never be as good as July at StarCraft. Now, down to the bottom. Okay, over here we have our international players. And it is possible. What are we calling it, Curse?
The Curse.
Curse.
That's her name.
From Tierra.
Yeah.
K-pop band. What the HuK?
Nidus Che. That's so funny. Mr. Che is one of the Korean commentators. Really smart, nice, funny guy.
Yeah.
Big Zerg player.
All right, so the spawning pool has started, and this is going to be an interesting game. Now, one thing that HuK's going to be careful about, assuming he does the 3-warp gate expand, and that's what I expect to see coming from HuK, and he gets that expansion, he wants to be careful as he goes out in the map poking and prodding, trying to push away overlords and zerglings, that he does not lose his army, that he does not lose even chunks of his army.
Yeah.
Because I've seen HuK get a little bit too aggressive, and it just costs him the game.
That's very true. He's been committing a little bit too much with his pressures. It's sometimes when you're like, okay, he's gonna go pressure, then he's like, no, I'm gonna try to kill him now, and that's something you normally can't do, especially against July Zerg. So hopefully HuK is gonna be ready for this. He has been practicing a ton. He actually played really nicely last game. A little bit risky, but sometimes you have to do that against Inca Man. He's just so sick.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the Protoss versus Protoss. Every once in a while, if you do a sneaky build and the other guy is hesitating and is thinking, he's 4-warp gate rushing me, then you can get away with some cool stuff like that. Here comes the drone. Make a hatchery here. And, you know, when you're spreading out your overlords on a map like this, you got to be very careful where you're going to put them, because good players will memorize other players' overlords positioning. That was a very skinny drone. He'd been dieting for a long time, so he could have slipped through there. He actually turned his drone self on his side and slid through that way.
No Jesus. Drones look so scary in their little animated thing.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at their portrait box,
they're like one of those huge sea crabs or something.
Yeah. And
nice sentry micro.
You know, it's funny, the damage actually is dealt from the sentry before the animation always connects.
Yeah, so it is funny. You can actually, sometimes it looks like they aren't even firing and you're actually dealing damage.
All right, here come the Lings.
That has to mean that the damage is dealt faster than the speed of light, right?
That must be what it is.
It's
They
kind of
just
weird.
explode like that one.
Because that's not the speed of light even of those beams. Because now that I think about it, we wouldn't actually see the beam come out so slowly then.
Hey, man.
How did these pew-pew beams actually work? That's what I want to know.
Well,
man.
these are not pew-pew beams.
Well, any of
Pew
it,
pew
even the
beams.
pew-pew beams. What are those exactly? They aren't light. Light's quicker than that, man.
They're lasers. Well, no, I guess
Lasers
well,
are light,
lasers are
man.
pretty fast, actually.
Yeah, Professor Tasis can't answer that one, can he?
Could it be some kind of plasma
You're
laser?
a fraud, Tasis. How don't you know this?
Take that lab coat off, Professor Tasteless.
All right, so we do have a Roach Warren going up. No layer yet. I'm wondering if we might see
that new style.
Yeah, this Roach Ling super duper pressure attack. It's so hard to hold off when you go 3 warp gate expand. He is making 5 more drones. We will see momentarily if he starts pumping out Lings and Roaches. I'm really, really interested to see if he does that. Might just be him playing safe. No, he is going to go ahead and get a layer, so he's not going to do that super hyper-aggressive attack.
You can see here that HuK has actually pulled quite a bit of chrono boosting. So I'm wondering if he's going to make 2 more gateways after this finishes up and just start chrono boosting out stalkers and sentries and start attacking. I think it could be that.
I think he's definitely going to do some sort of pressure very, very soon, because if we notice he hasn't gotten any more tech buildings, he's also not going to hallucinate. So he actually doesn't know what Jelizerg is doing right now. And without a Stargate or Hallucinate being upgraded, or even a quick robo for an observer, he's going to have no way to scout. So 100% we have to see some pressure from HuK, or he's playing blind.
Okay, he is going to do what I guess chrono boost on the gateways. Looks like he's actually going to do a 3-gate pressure.
I like that. It's going to be like a funny timing for July. It's going to be pretty powerful because he does have 5 sentries, or 6 sentries now, with a lot of energy.
Well, you know what?
A lot of stalkers as well.
And he's also hitting all the stalkers up here on the high ground, so that it sort of looks like, okay, he's probably going to Stargate now, maybe a robo.
Yeah. Exactly. Or maybe hallucination, you know, maybe has a forge in the main. But here it comes, Tasteless, and Jelizerg making 4 roaches right now. This is actually a great timing by HuK. Jelizerg has not started Burrow, so the force fields are going to be amazing. He does have Roach speed on the way. That's not going to be too helpful, as it won't even finish in time. And oh, beautiful.
Nice snipe there. Takes out reinforcing units. Pylon on the way. Now, we need to check. I think Jelizerg's going to get supply blocked if he loses that Overlord.
He is. He's actually in a lot of trouble. Look at trapping 4 roaches.
Beautiful.
Oh, I think HuK might be able to take out Jelizerg here. Burrow being started, 16 Lings on the way, 3 Spine Crawlers on the way. He needs these 3 Spines to finish.
All right, nice trap there, but Jelizerg is not going to be turning around, so this force field's not going to be as helpful.
Yeah, but he is going to take out these
here,
units.
The Queens he's going to get as well, though. He is probably chrono boosting back at home on his gateways, excuse me. And I think there's just enough stalkers if he can do this right.
He might be able to. Out come the drones. Jelizerg is nervous here. That 1 spine been hitting nonstop, man.
He needs to get that spine. He keeps mismicroing. He does need to get a few Zurians here.
24 Lings are on the way. So this is still pretty close. HuK being smart, though, and getting a lot of Zealots.
Yep, he knows exactly what he's going to do. Knocking roaches.
And some interesting force fields by HuK. The drone's coming out, but he's holding on for now. A lot of Zerglings. Jelizerg with his drones.
Stalkers behind there.
Yeah, that may end up being a problem, but he's killed a good amount of drones off right now. 59 supply for Jelizerg, 55 for HuK. HuK has all those units in there, very damaged for HuK, except for 2 of the stalkers.
He's just supply blocked Jelizerg with that, killing that Overlord.
Oh, very nice. He's at 60 of 60, but he does have 5 more roaches about to finish. Burrow is done. That is a crucial stage of holding this rush.
All right, more roaches out here, and I think I'm going to call it right now. I think this rush is over.
Yeah, and HuK knows that. He's turning around. He's like, all right, rush over. Very close supplies right now. HuK adding 3 more warp, 2 more warp gates rather, and a robo.
Now he's got to be careful because of counterattack with Burrow Roach.
Yeah, that's why he's got to get that Burrow in. Well, he has that Burrow. I mean, got to get that observer out. 41 probes against 33 drones. So this turned out pretty well. HuK has to be, reasonably satisfied with those results. I think he wanted to actually kill him there. I feel like he may have slightly messed up a couple of the force fields during that, though.
We don't have a shot of it now, but there's 2 gateways that have been contaminated by an Overseer. There it is. And that is messy.
That is. Who's going to clean that stuff up, man? Got to get a probe made. Clean that up, probe. It's like, meow, meow. Sup, whining probe.
Do you ever... I'll talk about it after this cast, but the probe, it sounds like he's always saying Nilbog, which is the name of the town in Troll 2. Windelbog, which is goblin spelled backwards because in Troll 2, the movie, there are no trolls, just goblins.
Oh
Why'd you take that movie title? All right.
Observer on the way.
Spire coming. And, with the Spire out, I don't know if HuK's going to have cannons.
I wonder if he's just getting that for Corruptors, but yeah, he likes to go mute. I would not be surprised if he does go mute for a little bit.
You know what? He's going to do it again.
Oh, look at this. A counterattack as HuK moves out. Jelizer got that Zolnok Watchtower. He knew his timing to get in here. Good little counter. HuK not turning around. Oh my god, HuK
totally
not turning around.
Now here's one issue, is that there's an Immortal out and there's a lot of gateways, so eventually the Protoss should be able to hold this.
We will see, man. That is a lot of units, and HuK trying to break through here.
Does not.
Oh man, a little bit indecisive. HuK going home now.
Yeah.
Realizing he can't break through.
He's even making Zealots, which are terrible against Roaches.
Yeah, it's a hard spot for HuK.
And he's going to have to use some of these probes here to defend, but that means he's going to lose some of these probes when he defends.
Yeah. Spire almost done. Roach is going to go into the main base. Oh no. HuK not warping something to stop those Roaches. Now they're going to get up here and cause a lot more damage.
Nice force field there by HuK to stop reinforcements from coming in here.
Really good job splitting up his force fielders.
And now we need to get this Observer over here ASAP, most ASAPly.
Hitting that Nexus for good measure. Make sure the Stalkers all know.
Meanwhile, it looks like on the mini-map, oh, here we're getting a shot of it now. The Zerg army has gotten up here. A nice force field blocking us off, actually cutting up Jelizer's army.
Yeah, very good defense by HuK now that he is home.
And the
Jelizer really microing those Zerglings.
Yeah, doing a good job taking out some of those probes for a little bit there. The Roach is coming there, taking out the sentries.
He's got to run those sentries. You cannot be losing sentries like that. They are too expensive to replace.
And I got to say, HuK is doing a very impressive job holding this. What is the worker count? Can you?
Right now, we have 43 against 43. 10 mutas on the way, though, so that's going to change that around. Jelizer's still with a Roach in the main base of HuK using his burrow very, very well.
He's going to see there's no cannon there.
It is 2 base for Jelizerg still, though. We have to keep that in mind.
Yep. Well, I don't know how many more stalkers HuK is going to make, but he needs to have, he probably should have had that forge up later. Then again, I guess with a build where you do 3 warp gate pressure, it's kind of tricky to do.
Yeah. 107 to 103 supply with HuK in the lead. HuK going to move out for another attack, mostly Stalkers, but the mutas coming into his base are going to kill a lot of probes if he does leave. HuK looks like he is turning around.
All right, HuK's going to turn around. I don't know if he's going to get over there in time, though.
Yeah, these mutas are definitely going to do bad damage, man. Bad damage. And here we go, a lot of probes going down. Beautiful tech switch by Jelizer. Very good choice here. HuK does not have Blink, doesn't have a Twilight Council, he does not have a Starport.
He's also not running away with those probes. He's sort of just taking it.
And here's the thing, he does not have the mobility to counter these mutas at this moment. He is going to split up and defend his lines, but, here's the thing, Tasteless. I mean, very nice.
Control there by Jelizer. 2 mutas sniped down there.
Without Blink, without Stargate, it's so difficult to actually defend against mutas. So Jelizer can run him around non-stop, and then what is HuK going to do? He can't really leave his base. And if he does, there can be a base trade scenario, which is always messy.
Yeah, especially in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's got any flying buildings around here.
No, they do not. Burrow moving on the way. A bunch more Roaches, plus taking a 3rd base is July. He has, right now, 22 supply more than HuK. And HuK does still have more probes, though.
Well, it's a very stressful moment when you're the Protoss and you're kind of stuck in your base because you're waiting for cannons to finish. Because the Zerg can be doing all sorts of stuff. They can be making more units for an all-in. They can be taking key locations on the map. And you don't generally get to do anything about it until it's your turn.
You know what's the scariest thing about this, Tasteless, is that HuK is gearing up to move out and do an attack. But when he moves out, all those units on the right from Jelizer, the Speedlings and Roaches, are going to know, and so are the mutas. And then Jelizer can counterattack, do a bunch of damage. Either HuK goes home to defend and gets behind, or he all-ins. And if he all-ins, Jelizer simply does some damage and then goes and defends. It's a terrible spot for HuK to be in. Jelizer playing masterfully. Notice, here he comes as he sees HuK leaving, getting ready. HuK walking back immediately. His observer is following those units, so he's like, well, what do I do here?
Well, all Jelizer wants to do is get his third base up and running. There's a small window of time in which HuK could do some damage, but at the same time, HuK can't afford to lose his expansion.
Yeah, and Jelizer going to go for a counterattack here.
But look, he's got all these sentries here with Immortals. He can make a wall.
You'd make quite a big wall. Yeah, he might want to just go with Stalkers. I don't know, but the thing is, if he just goes with Stalkers, his stuff will all die when the Roaches and Lings come back. It's just, Jelizer is like in control here.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a really, really good job.
Yeah,
of kind
look
of
at him run back
the
and forth, man.
And you can see HuK just can't get in the position despite being pretty resilient throughout this entire game. And we're going to see. Do you think he should just try to chase him down and sandwich him from two sides? I guess that's what HuK's going to try to do right now.
You know, I'm so scared of him doing that because Jelizer's force can take down half of HuK's force.
Yes.
And I think that's what we might see. Good force fields. He did have a sentry with that force, so it did not die. And here we go, though. Man.
No, he's not.
This is so tense. And Jelizer doing this is just keeping HuK at bay while Jelizer just gets his supply up, his third up. He has his third mining very, very well. He is very low on drones, though. 38 against 42. More and more Roaches on the way. Jelizer is basically going very low economy, heavy units.
You know, I'm surprised. You know what HuK could have done during this is at least taken the left side of the map with an expansion while he's making stuff.
Ooh, tasteless.
That's what he should have actually done.
It's a little bit risky, but I like it.
It's one of my builds.
I really like it.
One of my builds that's never lost. Okay, here comes the actual counter.
And he sandwiched him finally. HuK has outmaneuvered Jelizer. And beautiful force fields. Needed one more, though, and here he comes. Burrow movement. Awesome play by both players here. Can HuK hold on to this without losing too many units? He's got to force field those in. He does.
So sick.
And kills a lot of the Zerglings. Oh, nice force fields by HuK. The thing is, Jelizer's burrow movement there really getting him out of quite a pickle.
The observer was a bit misplaced there, so not all the burrowed units were actually taking as much damage as they should have.
Yeah.
And Jelizer once again going with the same strategy.
Such a smart strat.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's what you do on a map like this is that you've got to expand. You got to get base up.
Here comes the counter. I think HuK is tired of this, Stasis. He's just going for it. He's like, all right, this is it. Here we go.
He's going to go towards the main. And if you notice, Jelizer actually made so many spine crawlers just in case this exact scenario happened.
Yeah. A brilliant move by Jelizer. But HuK can walk around, he can hit 30, can go up the back through that rock area. He can do kind of like Jelizer was doing to him. This is a ton of units at home for Jelizer. It's going to be very hard for to hold. Let's see, can HuK break through here?
It's all going to come down to this moment. There is an Immortal here. He does a lot of damage to spine crawlers. It is now taken out. And I don't know what else to say. There's just so many Stalkers here.
Yeah, there are. This is a huge base trade scenario. Jelizer still making a lot of units. He is at 130 supply against 71 of HuK.
But I don't know if HuK can destroy his opponent's buildings as quickly. HuK does.
He does have probes with him, and he has 500 minerals, so he can make more buildings over here. More spine crawlers are going up at the expansion of Jelizer, realizing that he needs to be very careful
He needs to target fire the hatchery, go up there, target fire the lair, and then literally turn around and just go and kill that other hatchery.
Very, very true.
All right, HuK's almost lost all of his structures. He's getting very close to having no structures. He needs to make a pylon somewhere where he can still attack.
Makes a Nexus.
I think it would have been better to make a bunch of pylons.
Yeah, I feel like what you do is you make pylons.
Bad idea.
I agree. It's going to make it so his buildings aren't revealed. That's the only thing that I have to say. Oh, that's a really good idea.
I didn't think about that.
Because he does have some pylons that haven't been killed by Jelizer, but Jelizer has seen those. Jelizer knows where all his buildings are except for that Nexus. The thing is, HuK can't walk away from that Nexus.
Yeah, that's the problem. That should make a checkmate here.
And so he might want to cancel that.
He's making an assimilator, but that's also a location that he can't defend from.
Yeah, he has to actually go and hit the... Well, Jelizer's made so many spine crawlers at the other base. I don't know if HuK can break through that, plus the units Jelizer has.
I think, to be totally honest, it would have been better to make one or two pylons where they are now, and then advance forward, making a pylon, finding that last location where the final structure is. And I think we now can see that suddenly he's realized, like, he needs to take out this location at the upper left. That's actually
there's too many spines, though. He's going to lose too many units, and Jelizer Army can probably clean him up from there. We will see, though. He does have Guardian Shield. Guardian Shield's certainly going to be helpful in this situation.
He
Might use Force Field, though, to stop any use from coming up, and uses the Guardian Shield. Micros that back as Jolizerg was targeting it. And here we go. The Muta's coming up. The Link's coming up as well. Oh, man, it just looks like there's not enough in HuK's army.
Yeah, the sheer number of Micros, he should not have gone for that place. Maybe he should have for their second, not the main. Not entirely sure.
And that's going to be it, man.
That's going to be
HuK,
it.
GG's. Very well played, but, you know, it's the curse of Cure. Jolizerg will advance to round 16, whereas HuK, unfortunately, likewise with his teammate from Team Liquid, Jinro, will be going down to the up and down matches.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys.
Sure,
They're good.
make it back.
They can make it back in.
Well, HuK probably very disappointed after that loss.
Yeah, you know, this was a very difficult group. Very, very difficult.
Yeah, it was tough to see, you know, who was really going to advance. I mean, Jolizer's got to be feeling pretty good about that. HuK was actually somebody I predicted to advance out of this group. So, not a fortune teller. I can only make predictions.
Yeah. Well, this may not be the end we see of HuK today. You may have to play a third, fourth decider match. Because next we do have Rain against Inca. And I have to say, I feel Inca is favored here. So if we have 2-0-2-0 and 0-2-0-2, we will see a Rain HuK match still come up. So do not go anywhere if you're here to see HuK only.
Yeah, you can still sit here and cheer for HuK, show your support for HuK, because you know, if you're going down to the up and down matches, this game is so pivotal.
Yeah,
you know?
oh, absolutely. HuK needs 2 shots, man. If you have only 1 shot, you might just have a group of death, and you're just like, oh,
God,
well, you know, I have 1 best of 3 try saying code S. That's too much, Tasteless.
That's too much.
Too much, too little.
Yeah. So, thank you guys so much for joining us. This is the GSL, and I'm a little bit sad.
You know, it's a crying shame that both Team Liquid members are in the up and down matches, but their groups were unbelievably hard.
They're going to have to start
Such
putting
hard
Prozac
groups,
in
man.
my water.
Anyone could have gone down out of these
this.
groups.
Yeah. No
I mean,
kidding.
Jolizerg and Inca and PvP
Well, here's
Inca.
the other thing is that he almost beat Jolizerg. That could have been a game that he won.
Yeah.
It could have been one of those situations. I think
He put up a great fight. It was his best PvZ I've seen in quite a while.
I honestly think he should have actually expanded to the left as Jolizerg was doing his little switcheroo.
That's such an interesting
because
idea. Thing is, if Jolizerg scouts, his mutas are going to like wreak havoc. But if he doesn't and he gets that up, then suddenly
it
it's
seems like that's the best thing that you could possibly do because they can't have the units on the left side of the map when you're doing that in those positions. They're going to have them on the right. So we're going to go right into our next game.
It's going to be Inca against Rain. Can Inca make it to the round of 16? Will Rain go back down to the up and down matches?
We're going to find out. You know, Rain, I don't normally like to criticize these players, but this is a guy who's got to mix up his style. If we see him one base again, I don't.
You know,
you might be like Neo bit by bit prime here. You're just.
Well, you know,
you're a good player who's got good micro, but you're just. If every game you wall in, then it's very. I mean, all in, wall in. If every game you all in,
I'm like, yeah, you're safe. So what do you mean?
Then you know there's no element of surprise, and players respond accordingly. They just make additional units. It doesn't work. Inca's got very good PvT. I don't think it's as good as his PvP. But
it's pretty darn good.
But it's pretty darn good. I think his PvZ probably his weakest, maybe. Not sure. Actually, Inca,
I don't know. I like his PvZ as well.
I think what's most important
well-rounded.
His PvP is just stronger than his other 2
He's like a
matchups.
PvP god.
Yeah, he really is. So, we'll see. Rain has been in the finals of GSL's losing MC. But since then, he hasn't had much success. So let's see if he can turn that around here at the GSL.